What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to YGOPD, your Yu-Gi-Oh! Professional Development, and today I'm going to bring to you a Swordsoul Virtual World deck profile. I thought this was a really well-timed deck profile to follow up the combo guide I had featured. If you have not yet seen that, please feel free to take a look. It's a really cool deck right now. I think it's a really solid budget option if you're looking for something a little bit different to play for another week or two before the ban list drops and things get shaken up pretty drastically, and you don't want to feel like pounding your head against a wall by playing Tier or Sprite. This is something a little bit more refreshing. So I won't waste too much time. We'll give a quick shout out to our new subs of the channel. Sam, Julian, Kuang, and Victor, thank you all so much for joining. If you like what you see and want to stick around, please leave a sub. It really helps the channel. And with all that said, we'll go ahead and hop right into the deck profile. All right, we'll go ahead and hop into the main deck here. Of course, this would not be a Swordsoul Virtual World deck without Triple Moye. An absolutely amazing starter, gets you negates and disruption through cards like Chi Zhao and Blackout, synergizes well with the Virtual World because of worms, and this dropping down to 15, 20 bucks for a secret is about as good as you're going to be able to get. I would definitely recommend picking them up if you haven't, because who knows, I don't think we know the confirmed rarity for Moye's reprint, and we now know that these are not in the tins, so while they're low, grab them. This makes an insane addition to this deck to be relatively budget, so triple Moye, and then we do play the one long one and the one Taya. Long one, obviously, for our level 10 piece to get disruptions and negations in form of Baron, Sinister Sovereign, or other options, and Taya as well as just a single starter to get off of Emergence to at least get you a Virtual World name. Then we play the 3 Swordsoul Emergence, obviously just getting you the Swordsoul from the deck to the hand to keep playing. And then my favorite card in this build to play that I'm probably going to bump up to 3 here soon is Double Heavenly Dragon Circle. This card is absolutely nuts. You can essentially start your Virtual World line and then tribute off a worm on field, which is going to be either GG or Lily. Add something like Moye, Long One, or Taya from your hand and keep playing. It really does a lot. Or vice versa, if they kind of stop your Swordsoul line, if you start with that, tribute it off, get the other piece you're missing, and then just keep going from there. It's a really solid card. And then one Blackout, of course, just for the searchable disruption. That is it for the small Swordsoul package. On to the Virtual World here. We play Triple Lulu. This is obviously your best Virtual World name in the deck. You need to max out on this, of course. And then we play almost a full package of all the other names. 3 Lily, this is kind of your Foolish Burial for everything. Targets one on the field, that's either a monster, spell, trap, dumps the other, or something that it's not. So if you target a monster, you dump a spell or trap, and then you have the option to dump a third of that type. So if you dumped a spell, then you can dump a trap. Essentially, it's going to get 2 of 3 things in the grave, any combination of 2 of those between monster, spell, or trap. And then we have 3 GG. This is your essentially kind of like a Scarm, except it adds back from grave. So it's a way to do your full combo and then get Lulu back to hand, or Lao Lao for follow-up on the next turn. Speaking of Lao Lao, we do play 2 of them. Ignore the ugly super. For some reason, I can't find my other secret lying around, but 2 is fine. Again, you don't want to open multiples of these and brick on it when it's just not playable, and you really don't want to waste this effect. You want this to be kind of follow-up after you've played through hand traps. And then, of course, the 1 Yan Yan. Again, 1 Yan Yan is perfectly fine. You don't need more. My preference is just to have the 1, since again, it comes up not a lot. It's usually just kind of something you dump throughout your main combo. That's it for the Virtual World monsters. On to the spells. We play Triple Kowloon. This is obviously what is going to get you any of your names into your spell trap zone. And then we only play 2 Qinglong. You can play more, but I decided to up my count of Foolish Burial Goods to 2. I kind of like the 2 and 2 ratio because, the hard thing with Virtual World is you just need to play so many names that you don't want to brick on having a ton of the same name unless they're really, really powerful. And I'd rather you eventually always want this to end up being engrave anyway. And so 2 is fine. 1 to have engrave and then 1 to have on field is usually good. And then Foolish Burial Goods can help substitute for that difference. And then similarly, we play 2 Chuche and 1 Zhanbu. This is obviously quite standard. Again, same thing with Chuche, is just 1 in the grave, 1 in the field to level modulate, and then 1 piece for disruption. So that is it for the Virtual World spell traps. And then just the last couple consistency pieces here, and odds and ends that don't really fit directly into that mold. 2 emergency teleport obviously helps get Lulu, helps get a virtual name on board. 1 Snow and 1 Destrudo. We play Beatrice. There's no reason not to abuse it. This is another way, obviously, to help get level 10 synchros on board, get Shen, different things like that. And Snow is just always an amazing piece of disruption. And then the last piece of the deck is, again, just to help insulate from the crazy combo decks. We are playing 3 Dark Ruler no more. Obviously, depending on how you like the engine, you can cut things like Snow or Destrudo, slim down the Swordsoul package. 3 Moye isn't needed. You could get away with just Swordsoul, Long Young, and Taya, play more board breakers, play more hand traps. But this is kind of where I've landed, and I think I'm fine with that for now. So again, don't want to go too crazy. This is meant to be a little bit more of kind of a budget version. I like showcasing something like that every now and then. Onto the extra deck. We start off with the 1 Baron, and before you scream at me for saying, again, hey, this is budget, you're running some crazy level 10s here in Baron, I don't have the $100 to shove out. 2 really good options you can do. These are not in the extra deck right now for me because I'm choosing to play Baron, but I want to showcase them, is Satellite Warrior and Stardust Warrior. This is what I was playing for months when I first started playing Virtual World, when I could not afford or did not have the Baron at that time. These are great level 10s. You can get the pair of these for like $5. One is like, they're just both really insane. So it's kind of a recurring Omni Negate versus like a recurring kind of solemn warning, I guess, for special summons. But these are both really solid replacements. If you've not considered these, definitely do. They are both really, really good, and you can't necessarily go wrong with them. And you don't necessarily need to have a bunch of other crazy things. If you're playing the Swordsoul engine, cards like Sinister Sovereign is a house in and of itself. So this really does get a lot of work done as a level 10. But for my build, these are the 2 level 10s of choice, is Baron and Sinister Sovereign. And then moving forward with that, kind of wrapping out the Swordsoul package, is just the 1 Chijiao and the 1 Baxia. Baxia is here for the Taya line. It's also good going second, but again, Taya allowing you to dump a Virtual World name like GG, tribute it, and bring back the level 3, so then you have a Virtual World name on board is really, really important. And just having additional bodies that are worms to end on board to keep things like Blackout live or Heavenly Dragon Circle live are important as well. Moving more towards the Virtual World piece, we play the 1 obligatory Shen, of course, 1 Juju for the level 6, and then 1 Stardust Warrior for the other level 6 Synchro. You don't need to play Coral Dragon. We're not playing Zolkin or the Kalga package or anything like that. I'm a little bit more rank 6 focused here with the Swordsoul engine, and I like that kind of design of it for a few different techs I'll showcase here later on. Well, more so just 1 slot that I think is quite good. So you don't really need to go too overboard. You just want to be able to have these 6s to climb with, but you can play Coral Dragon nonetheless. And then, of course, the 1 obligatory Zeus, Downward Magician, and Phantom Knight Break Sword package for going second to help break boards. Then for the last couple Virtual World names here is the 1 rank 3 for the Long and the Fan. This is an absolutely amazing card, but again, these names aren't really needed. I just kind of have them in here because they are nice to have, but you can again replace these with a different rank 3 or 6 of your choice depending on how you want that to shake out. And then the last couple generic ones here are 1 M7, 1 obligatory Beatrice, and my favorite card, I love this thing to death in this deck, it just is so good, is 1 number 24, the Vampiric Dragon. This gets so much work done. M7 obviously just to add back certain things mid combo, dumping stuff with Baxia and adding it back, different things like that. Beatrice obviously for Snow and Destrudo, and then number 24, I'll talk about this just briefly. This card is absolutely amazing. It's like a quick effect Book of Moon on a special summon monster, I believe from the extra deck specifically. I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head, but it has a really great floating effect. If it's destroyed, it can set itself, and then when it's flipped face up, it can then send a card on the field as well. So you can even summon this, use its effect detached to flip itself face down as well and get that effect too. It floats, it just does so much, and it's a worm and synergizes well because of that with Blackout as well. It's a really, really powerful card. I highly recommend, if you've not tested this rank 6 in your Virtual World, to consider it. It does a lot. So that is it. That's the Virtual World Swordsoul deck. I hope you appreciate it. Something a little bit different, something a little bit more budget friendly and just unique here for the next couple weeks till the ban list officially drops. Wanted to give this some love since I was already on the habit of kind of doing the combo guide last week. But again, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Later.